Hashtag no music, no intro. Saints Block Party podcast coming at you. Still got a lot to talk about with these New Orleans Saints. But before we get into that, if you are watching this on YouTube, thank you so much. Please like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. I think we're at like 1,110 subscribers now, so which is crazy. So thank y'all so much. We know it's the off season, and so we just know that our numbers just tend to drop. But even being the off season, I mean, I feel like we should say thank you to the Saints in the front office for Mickey Loomis and Dennis Allen, because y'all keeping our down lows coming.
Really?
This is not a non-interesting offseason.
Never is it not.
Ever. So we got some various things to talk about. We got to talk about this still ongoing offensive coordinator search, Michael Thomas, Senior Bowl week, just various things going on. But as we are deep into draft season, or getting close to being deep into the draft season, we're almost in February. The first night of the draft is April 25th. If you want to join Ryan and I in New Orleans for the Saints Block Party podcast second annual draft party, all you got to do is become a Patreon. Simple as that. Just become a Patreon. I'm going to start getting like a head count probably mid-February, beginning of March, just so I have an idea. But it was fun last time. We don't know what's going to happen in this draft, as we rarely do. We don't know what the Saints are ever going to do when it comes to the draft. So regardless of what happens, at least you're around people who know how to have a good time, regardless of what's happening. Let's talk about this team, Ryan.
Let's talk about it.
It is January 31st. Tomorrow is the first week or first day of February. This has been the longest month I think I have ever had in my entire life. Like, this month did not end. And the Saints still do not have an offensive coordinator. Now, I will say, I'll preface by saying, like, it was reported, I think it was last week, that the OC, the hire was going to happen post Senior Bowl, like after the Senior Bowl, right? And then I guess I believe at NOF it was like reported that they had like honed in on candidates, and it was like there's like language of adhering to the league rules, and it was like I believe the names was like it was Gruden and was it Gerard Johnson, and I'm forgetting who the third person was. It Brian Johnson? I don't know. I've lost, and then out of a sudden it's like, oh, there's Luke Getsy, former Bears offensive coordinator, and then I'm like, how have you honed in on who's going to have the job if you're still bringing people into the search? I got some questions, Ryan.
And Greg Lewis in the bill.
Oh, completely forgot about Greg Lewis, wide receiver coach. Like, but they've honed in, bro. Like, listen, man.
What's going on?
I've tried to be as honest about this situation all through this season, right? I have kept shit 100 about what happened last offseason. I've been very honest about saying that offensive coordinators do not want to work with Dennis Allen. They do not. And I think people are a little confused, or they have reasons in their minds of why offensive coordinators don't want to work with Dennis Allen, because they're like, well, who wants to come and work with Derek Carr? Who wants to come and work with in a team that has a back cap situation, and Dennis Allen's a lame duck coach? It's not even that. It really is not even that. It is, if you are an offensive-minded person and you are coming and signing on to be an OC, if the head coach, who especially the defensive fucking coordinator or defensive-minded coach, is trying to tell you how to run the offense, why the fuck do I even have the job? Like why would I take it? If I can't bring my ideas and my concepts, then why would I just come there just to be essentially like offensive coordinator, but just really running what Dennis Allen wants me to run?
Right.
Pete did it. Pete didn't probably want to do it. And so I said, like, adamantly that Pete did not want to be OC for a second year in a row. They could not get people to interview for OC. And I think what we're seeing, and they're going to try to spin it and say it was just an extensive search. Bro, they talked to 10, almost feels like 10 plus people for this job, Ryan.
And that's what we know of.
That is unheard of. That is unheard of. And I know Heather, well, I know, like, people, they'll never say it like, they're going to try to spin it of how it's just so exhaustive. It's like the anti-DA search, right?
Right.
Because it was DA, Brian Flores, Aaron Glenn, Doug Peterson, and Eric Bieniemy. 5 people that they interviewed. That was it. Now they're like, well, now we're interviewing 10 plus to be OC. That's a lot of dates. That's a lot of dates.
A lot of swipes.
And let me preface by saying this. I don't know if this is just something that they're doing as like a sham to give the illusion that they're really doing a thorough offensive coordinator search, and maybe they are. But if it is a sham and they just want to potentially have John Gruden join the team and promote Ronald Curry, I don't know if it's that, or I don't know if it's they really do want to have another offensive coordinator who isn't Pete Carmichael, and they don't want to promote Ronald Curry. They don't want to have John Gruden on staff, and Kay can't get anyone to say yes to wanting the position. Either one of them is a terrible look for your team.
Oh yeah, terrible look. But it can't. I can't. Well, I'm not gonna say I can't believe it. But if it was really a sham for Gruden, like they're going really. That's a lot of work for a sham. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of work.
A lot of work. A lot of Zoom interviews. A lot of dinners and all that stuff, man. So I do believe they really do. And if you can look at the coaches they're looking at, they really do want to tap into that Shanahan, McVay, sort of coaching tree. I think they really do want to do that. But I mean, the Saints just not not the destination people just dying to go to. You know what I'm saying? It's not their first choice, not their second choice, maybe not their third choice. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's not one of the things. Like, okay, Gerard Johnson, I don't know what happened with that. Underhill put out that the Saints didn't offer him the job. Gerard Johnson, through his media connections, put out that he's staying with the team. Why did he put that out? I don't know. Was he putting that out? I don't know. Like, what I'm saying? I don't know. Maybe they didn't offer. Maybe they did. There's no way I could prove that unless we hear from, our sources or whatever. But the Saints, David Rowe, is so much trust at this point. I just don't trust nothing that comes out the building.
Bro.
You know what I'm saying?
Nothing.
I don't trust nothing.
Nothing.
Everything that comes out, I'm looking at it like, is this some kind of spin? Are they trying to save face? So, I don't know. But I just know that.
At this point, this is complete. So I pulled up our Twitter page. We got to be more like who we follow on our Twitter account, bro. Because sometimes I go to it and I'm like, and shit that's a retweet on my time. I'm like, what is this? Like, this MAGA person is all.
Bro, that's my fault, bro. I go down the list. If they follow us, I'm like, follow. Unless it's an egg Abby. Follow. Bro, it's our official Twitter account. I don't care about that.
I know. But like, shit popped. Is cancer really a fungus? Is the shit that I don't know. Is it? But speaking of spin, and we'll get back to the whole offensive coordinator thing. But I have to go to this because you brought up spin. Okay, so hold on. I don't know who this is, but someone on Twitter, Matthew _ Paris. Oh, he's a New Orleans Saints beat reporter at the Times-Picayune. Didn't even know he covered the Saints, bro. Like, this is how I'm so not.
Well, I mean, NOLA.com, bro.
But he said Dan Pritchard staying in Cincinnati, Gerard Johnson staying in Houston, Zach Robinson hired by Atlanta, Luke Getsy happening Wednesday. So to me, you can tell me that you didn't want Gerard Johnson to have the job and it wasn't offered to him. So, but I will say it looks real desperate to get in Luke Getsy in at the last minute, like who is not like a very highly thought offensive coordinator. Can we like the players in Chicago did not speak highly of him after the season was over. But
no.
I digress. I gotta pull up this fucking tweet that was sent out. Speaking of spin, January 29th. Our boy Jeff Duncan _ on Twitter. The Saints have had their share of misses in recent drafts, as every team does. But the club's college scouting department has found undrafted free agents such as Carl Granderson, Juwan Johnson, Rashid Shaheed, JT Gray, Nymphy Sewell, and Blake Ruby. That doesn't happen by accident. I don't know who quote tweeted it, and I wish I could get credit to it, but just saying that, like, adding Sewell and Groupie at the end of that, like, adding, like, parsley to it, bruh, just no, this. But this is not what, but Jeff Duncan didn't add this to the tweet, that the person that was probably likely to have found these players just went to Sean in Denver. Okay, all right. But we got to keep it spinning, Jeff. We got to keep it spinning. Why did this tweet come out literally a day after I put a draft tweet, Ryan? Talking about their hit rate, bro. This is wild.
A day after, Ed mentioned on the live stream, if I recall, that 36% hit rate since 2020.
2020,
and that's being generous.
Right? I gave some hits that are probably more debatable, but 22 players drafted, you've hit on 8 of those. Being generous, 36%. Okay. You cannot make a fucking tweet talking about how great they identified UDFAs when you're missing on a huge crux of the draft capital that you have. That is terrible fucking team building. Because I would say, okay, so the Lions hit on Gibbs, they hit on Laporta, they hit on Brian Branch, and it completely transformed their team. Like, think of 2017. That draft class transformed the Saints' future for the next couple of years. Don't try to sit and talk to me about UDFAs. Please stop it. Please stop. UDFAs are like a little icing, a little cherry on top. You go to the bedroom, your girl wearing some lingerie, you wasn't expecting, like, ooh, I wasn't expecting that. Like, she got that. Oh, girl, when you got that, we got to share Amazon account. How'd you order that? Like, that's what a UDFA is. But it is, you cannot bank on you hitting on UDFAs to be good at your team. And the person that identified them is no longer with the Saints, Jeff. Like, what are we doing?
My thing about the Jeff tweet is it just reads like something Greg Benzel wrote and texted to Jeff Duncan like, man, tweet this.
Gotta get credentials from the thing.
You know how you tweet some shit, you tweet some shit sometimes, you text it to me like, can you retweet this? It's like, that's what Greg Benzel tweet this. And we seen, didn't Adam Schefter do that one time? And like he left something in there.
Mr. Editor, or are you talking about the?
I want to say like something. One time he forgot to take out the instructions in the text.
I vaguely remember this.
I think it was Schefter. It just I vaguely remember. But anyway, it's like, you can't be more just obvious. That you just spin it for the team, bro. Spin it for the team, man. It's like, come on now. Like, of all the things, it's like, can we at least try to be somewhat critical and I'm talking to the media, can we try to be at least a little? I'm not saying be negative, and I'm not saying be hot take-ish and just bash the team for no reason. But can we at least be critical of a team that hasn't made the playoff in 3 years, that has not been good and is not showing any trajectory of becoming a Super Bowl contender or a real contender in the NFL? Can we at least be critical of the moves? Can we be critical of Mickey Loomis, of Dennis Allen, of the quarterback, of the decision making by the front office? Like, can we please? Because the media, y'all all we got. Y'all all we got. You know what I'm saying? Me and you, we just got a little podcast here. We just some regular dudes with day jobs. But y'all are in the building every day. Y'all talk to these people. Can we at least get some critical analysis going on of the team and not this whole, well, they know what they're doing. So it's like, what are we doing here?
Says who? So this is thank you for pointing that out, because I had to pull this shit up. That was also from the 29th of January. It seems like the 29th of January, the Saints just had people just working overtime, bro. Just working, bro.
Back it off.
What is it? I can't. Sean Fazenden, whatever. Fox 8. It wasn't a tweet. It was a YouTube hit, or like a part of the where he's just like, just in this merit, please, regarding what Michael Thomas was saying on Twitter. So it looks like what Michael Thomas was doing and saying is that, well, if no one in the media is going to keep shit buck and keep shit 100 or what's going on, and Michael Thomas is a smart person. I'm pretty sure I think he knows that he probably is not going to be back with the team. The crazy thing is, I think he wants to be with the team. I think he loves the city of New Orleans. It's not about that. But at some point, as a person, when shit is wrong and it's in your face and wrong long enough, it behooves you to speak out on that. And that's all Michael Thomas has been doing since he's been tweeting. Has he not?
It's amazing, bro.
All the shit that we have said on this podcast, that we've hinted at, that we've given like little like allusions to, or that we've come out and just said verbally with our mouths, to have people come back and just ask us who our sources are and blah, blah. By the way, not saying Michael Thomas is my source, don't want you to get it twisted, but to have a player on the fucking team who has been able to at least verify what we have been saying, and the whole reaction to him, everyone's saying, oh, why are we going to listen to a person who hasn't been healthy for the last 3 years? Hey, you dumb fucks. You dumb fucks. Guess what? The Saints have misdiagnosed that man twice. We want to talk about, they thought he had his little toe was just injured a little bit, had him out there playing. Nah, that bitch was dislocated and had him out there trying to practice on it. So if we want to keep shit real and keep shit 100, we got to do that shit across the board. And so he is just telling the situation like it is. And people don't want and don't like to hear the truth. And I'm going to throw another caveat in there, especially people. I'm from Texas. You're from Louisiana. We're from the South. Especially white people don't like hearing people talk shit when it's from a black man. Am I wrong? Am I wrong right now?
We know that for a fact. And that whole thing right there, though, man, he hadn't done nothing in 3 seasons. What?
Whose fault is that?
It doesn't make sense, though. Like, just that argument doesn't make sense. Like, well, he hasn't been a productive player, so he can't have an opinion.
What?
Okay. Like, so he could have had an opinion. So he could have an opinion back when he was catching 149 passes and breaking records, but he can't have one now.
Like he's not in the locker room. Like he's not privy to what's going on. Like that's someone
who's been with the team since 2016, who's seen the good times, the bad times, the successes, the lows.
Has played with Drew Brees. Has played with Derek Carr.
He's the one that can't have an opinion.
But if anything, if anything, he's the subject matter expert because he's seen 2 regimes from the Saints. He saw what it was like playing with Drew Brees, and he saw what it was like playing with Taysom, playing with Jameis, playing with Derek Carr. He's seen what it's like for a coach to hold the team accountable when players need to be held accountable, and he's seen what it's like playing before a head coach that holds no one accountable or holds everyone else accountable except the players that need to be held accountable. Derek Carr. So, if anything, he's the person that I would listen to the most.
Thank you. He's exactly who I want to hear from. Like, what are we talking about? It's so crazy, bro. And I'm sorry, this is like probably the second Dr. Death reference I'm making in the podcast.
Go ahead, bro.
But it just reminds me so much of that show, because in that show you had these, prestigious doctors killing patients. You know what I'm saying? Killing patients. And they would probably still be practicing if it weren't for like one or two people within their profession ready to give up their jobs and livelihoods to get the word out about what was really happening. And they had to go against governments. They had to go against corporate boards and powerful politicians and the law, everything, all to get the word out. And it was a struggle. Like, it was a fight and struggle to dissent from all the crowd and the mob saying, do this, no, nothing's wrong here. Everything's fine,
And this was two. I want to add context to this. This was two fucking white doctors. You know how easy it is for two white doctors to get things done in this world? Like, let's real talk.
Two white doctors that, like prestigious doctors in their own right.
Yes.
And causing themselves a lot just to get the word out. And look, I mean, we talk about something serious with people dying and stuff like that versus football. It's no comparison between that, but just the fact that how people tie themselves to beliefs, man. Like, they want to believe.
Ooh.
They want to believe Mickey Loomis has it all figured out. They want to believe DA has it all figured out. They want to believe that the Saints they come to grow up with and know for the last 15 years is still that organization that they, that's going to be in the fight, going to be right there, compete for a Super Bowl next year and the year after year after year after. They want to believe that so bad that they're willing to ignore all the evidence in front of them. And that to me is crazy.
But here's the key part of it, though, right? The evidence is evident, right? Ooh, that's a bar. But I go back to this, right? When this kind of came up in our Discord like a week or so ago, when Dark Saint had brought something up where we were just kind of talking about is that people in the know, however you want to qualify that as football fans, whether you're a Saints fan or another fan of a team, there's different types of fandom, right? You have fans who are like us, who are just ingrained. And even before we started doing this podcast, right, we were pretty ingrained to like the being on Twitter and being able to kind of read through things and things like that. So we're deep in, right? And then you have fans who are just like casual fans, bruh. Like they not on social media. They just, all they know, they go to the game. They see something. They go to the game. They watch on Sunday. That's all. Like
they're hollering, who that?
All that. That's it. Those fans, because they're not quote unquote ingrained or whatever, if they are online, if they do see a tweet from a Jeff Duncan, if they do see an article from anyone who wants to spin what the Saints DA and Mickey Loomis is putting out, it's like, oh, this Marshawn player has been really hurt the last couple of seasons.
Exactly.
Oh, he doesn't want to play for DA. He's a malcontent. We can't have that on this team. Oh, okay, I understand why they want to trade him.
Exactly.
That's the propaganda game, bro.
Exactly.
And the Saints are not, it's a different landscape because of it being New Orleans and because of it being ran like a very mom and pop shop. But it's not just a Saints problem. I'll give you a perfect example. When we talked about this, the article or alert came out. And just this is how you just piece together shit. So Adam Schefter puts out a tweet that Ben Johnson is staying in Detroit and the price tag, scared some teams off, but he got like a pay raise, stay in Detroit, blah, blah. Now, how are you going to tell me? How are you going to put out a tweet that told me that his price tag scared him off, but before that news came out, the Washington Commanders was on a flight to go fly to him to sign him to be the head coach. So if they were flying to see him, sound like the price tag was probably known and they were willing to pay it, right? But that's the media game. Because the Washington Commanders wants to look good and they don't want to look like they got stood up. So they like, hey, Adam, can you put that tweet in there that his price tag was signed? So that's what I implore anyone who is listening to this or watching this, please, anything that comes out football related, I don't care who the fuck is reporting it. Ask yourself, who does this benefit? Michael Thomas telling his truth, who does that benefit? Because in theory, it wouldn't really benefit him, would it not? It would, in theory, maybe it hurts him, him viewed in the eyes of other teams. Maybe another GM or coach sees that on Twitter and he's not looked in the best of lights because he's not being a quote unquote team player. So like, if it doesn't benefit anyone, but if you read something and you ask yourself who it benefits, you can say, well, if they're kind of dogging on Marshawn, well, who would gain from that? Oh, it really opens your eyes of how the NFL and media sausage gets made.
Yeah, exactly. And you got to be wary of it. You got to pay attention to it. And also realize the team, it sucks because the player side almost never gets out.
Ever.
Because if a player does talk, they are almost always going to be the bad guy. And it really doesn't even matter what they say. They're always going to be together because they'll always be the malcontent.
Jameis did it last year with NOF, right? He went on, he talked to Mike Triplett. I think maybe Nick, I don't know if Nick was on or whatever, but he pretty much, he said the truth. He said, I was told by Coach Allen that, no one can on the team can lose their position due to injury. So like it is rare that it does when it does happen.
Very rare.
And like you said, the player almost always, more often than not, always comes off looking bad. They're not a team player. It's all about them. They're a me. They're a diva. All these fucking words when they're just trying to say, "Hey, dummies, like maybe like wake up and not believe everything that the team tells you." Like, getting back to offensive coordinator, I am to the point at this point, Ryan, where I just want someone who is offensive coordinator who is just not in any shape, way, or form having John Gruden involved with the team. Don't care who it is. I don't care that. How sad is it that's where the bar is? It's just like, can it not be John Gruden? Bro,
Just not John Gruden. It's not John Gruden, man. And at the end of the day, we don't know how any of these guys will work out.
None.
I don't know. Luke gets Etsy. You know what I'm saying?
I won't say one thing. And I put this on our Discord. Lou Gessie was cutting up DA's defense with Tyson Bingay that first half, nigga. He was out there talking a little bit. We were there. I wouldn't judge too much on his passing game with Justin Fields. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. And before that, he did work with Mike LaFleur for years with Aaron Rodgers and stuff like that. So, that's right. Yeah, he did.
And Greg Lewis, he came up under Andy Reid. This was his first year with the Ravens as wide receiver coach. But, he's a wide receiver coach. I don't know. And look, a lot of these interviews, they could be looking at them, for some of these guys, as positions outside of the offensive coordinator. Could be, another passing game coordinator. Could be a wide receiver coach because since they got rid of Coda Burns. All kind of stuff. So, we'll see. We'll see how it all plays out in the end, man. But this has been like it went about as I expected. I'll put it like that. Because I did not expect this team to go in, identify the guy they want, and splash, go get him. Like it just was not going to happen. I knew this was going to be a long. I didn't know it was going to be this wide of a search, but I knew it was going to be a long search. But we'll see.
I don't think they knew it was going to be this long of a search because I don't think they was expecting these many goddamn. No, I'm just saying, Ryan.
They didn't realize that. That's just another problem. Welcome to another point. Go ahead.
How would you not realize that when last offseason you couldn't get 3 people to interview for the job? Like, did they?
I think in their mind they're like, "Hey, we got Derek Carr now." Last year they didn't have anybody at that point. Like,
I get it.
We got Derek Carr now.
Where are we going for where are we going for dinner? Can we go to Bearcat for brunch? Yeah, okay. I'll be there. Got no intentions of taking the OC position. What was your other point, bro?
Triplet them. They were saying, they had the Senior Bowl, and they were saying that they're hearing pretty much to a man, everybody with the Saints, scouts, coaching staff, and all that, feel like Saints are close, man. We right there. Like, we're right there. We just piece or two away right there. I'm like, wow, this team really is delusional, man. It really is. They really look at that 9-8 record versus one of the easiest schedules in NFL history. One of the easiest schedules in NFL history, Adam. And they really believe they're right there. They're like, man, we just add another piece here and there. Those 9 wins will turn to 11 wins. And that's coming from the top. That point of view is coming from the top, bro. That's coming from the top. That's coming from Mickey and the staff. I mean, it's coming from Mickey, period. NDA.
Well, it has to come from Mickey because Mickey doesn't want to look bad regardless, right? Like, Mickey, here's the thing that I have started to lose a lot of respect for Mickey. Mickey is a very intelligent guy. He is a very intelligent man. He is deliberately. He's also very kind of two-faced and very shady. And what I've lost respect of is that he can put out as much as he wants, and it trickles down that they feel like they're close. But if that's the case, then it has never been talked about that there was going to be a succession plan where he was going to be president, but also kind of like pseudo GM, where if decisions were made and if someone had to fire Dennis Allen, if you're making that succession plan, that means you're already thinking about firing Dennis Allen. So how are you thinking? How are you going to tell people that you are close as a team when you already had this potential succession plan planned out where you didn't want to take the heat if you had to fire DA? Because what team is thinking about firing their head coach if they're close, right? I don't know. Maybe the Ravens, because that was kind of trickling a little bit. They are kind of an undisciplined team, but it doesn't happen very often, right? But I just aesthetics. Just going to give you some aesthetics, Ryan. We talked about this in the playoffs. What were the most impressive Saints win this season? We just really stopped to think about it. What was the most impressive win?
Factor an opponent.
Mm-hmm.
I may probably go with the Bucs second game.
Okay, so that's what I would say, right? Okay, if you take that Saints team, how they played in that game, would they beat the Ravens, the Chiefs, the Niners, if they played them 10 times? Would they beat them at least once? All 3 of those teams. So I'm giving you 30 matchups. 30 matchups. Could the Saints team that played against the Bucs in that second game beat any of those teams one time? If they each played them 10 times. So they played the Niners 10 times.
They played them 10 times.
10.
Probably once. But it ain't going to be more than that, bro. It's going to be... Because them teams, bro, is just... It's not close. It's not close, man. It's not close.
So I made that kind of far out example to say there is I watched that AFC Championship game. I was watching it, bro, and I was like, we are not in the same league as these niggas right now. Like these niggas are on a different level, and it is easy to see. So there's no way in my mind that I think Mickey can. I think he trickles that down. I don't even think he believes it. I really don't, because if he believed it, then he wouldn't have had these future thoughts of what to do next season if DA doesn't work out. You can't. That said, I know this team well enough to know that if that's what they're putting out, the Senior Bowl, then they are going to potentially make moves to try to give the illusion that they're close.
Exactly. They are not making future moves. They are going all in again this year.
You already know, bro.
All in.
The only big difference is that, you might we're close, but we're going to trade one of the best cornerbacks in the league. Oh, we're close, but we're going to maybe trade AK, even though our run game was terrible. Oh, we're close, but Taysom, one of the one of the few players that have been so consistent for us from season to season, he might get traded. Now, if you're that close, now why would you trade away players like that? It's just confusing to me, Ryan. I need someone to break it down to me like I'm 5 years old. I don't understand it.
Can't understand it because it don't make sense.
Don't make sense.
It makes no sense, man. But they're gonna go and pay a defensive end or offensive lineman a lot of money. They're gonna trade up in the draft from 14 to 10 or something and get, I don't know, somebody. And
if they trade up from 14 to 10 and they brought me UCLA edge, bruh, fine with it.
Fine with it. But it just goes to underscore that this franchise, man, right now, it's gonna take some lumps for them to get right. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you gotta go backwards to figure out how to go forward, and I think that's kind of where we at with them, man.
We didn't even talk about Pete Carmichael going over to Denver, bro.
Denver, baby.
I know he happy as fuck, bro. I don't gotta call plays no more. I don't gotta deal with DA, dumbass. He just like,
bro. Thank you. He gonna have his little office in the corner, cooking up plays, watching tapes from like 1962 Colts or some shit. Like, run this play. That's what he want to do. You know what I'm saying? That's all
I want to do, bro. That's all I want to do. You know what? I'm happy for him, bro. Like
legit happy
because
for him,
because as we've said, as the season ended, not once during his tenure as OC for 2 seasons, not once did he ever throw one player under the bus.
Ever.
He put it on him.
I watched every Pete Carmichael presser this year.
This nigga is sick.
Every one. Sick, bro. And trust me, it wasn't easy. I watched everyone, and he never, ever, 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 ever said one negative thing about any player. Ever.
But you had your head coach throwing Chris Olave under the bus multiple times, but then
unbelievable, bro. Unbelievable.
On a play that wasn't even his fault, Ryan. Like this.
And then had the nerve to come out after, what was that, the Giants game? Guess what? I guess we don't want to get any questions about our quarterback today, huh? Man, shit. I wish the media just walked out right there. Like, when he said that, like,
the Giants are picking 6th overall in the draft right now, by the way. I just had to look it up just to be sure, bro.
Like, what are you talking about?
With a backup quarterback. I'm just
pretty much all the teams you beat is picking top 10, goddammit. Like, what are you talking about, bro? What are you talking about?
Right. I mean, we kind of hit on all. So let's close out with Senior Bowl. This is not going to be a super, super duper long episode, but we wanted to get this out. We got something cooking for some good guests, hopefully coming on the pod soon. Senior Bowl. I've been being worked like a government mule this entire week, so I have not even had really time to get into Senior Bowl tweets and look into guys, blah, blah, blah. Before we do that, though, gotta talk about the news. Not even really news, because I think it is the most like known thing that's a secret, but that's not really a secret because it's been known for like months now. The report that came out that Sean Payton's willing to trade up in the draft for Caleb Williams. Does that make you feel any type of way?
Of course. Bruh. It's one of the things that I'd never get over. I'd never get over. I'd never get over him having Patrick Mahomes right there in his sights, knowing you wanted him. And
best quarterback workout he's ever seen in his life, Ryan.
You traded up for players like Marcus Davenport. Who else have they traded up for?
Brandon Cooks, Sad Ellis, Mark Ingram. I'm just trying to think of first round people that traded up for prior to Mahomes. So yeah, I think that
had to go get Alvin Kamara in the second round. Had to go get him. Got Alvin Kamara. Great pick. But you couldn't jump a spot or two to go secure your franchise quarterback for the future.
Probably would maybe taking like a 4th round pick, maybe a 4th.
Maybe. I just can't get over that. And now you ready to sell your grandchildren just to get a chance at Caleb Williams. It's just like, bro, what we doing, Sean? What we doing? I love you forever, bro. I love you forever, bro. But I'm always gonna look at you with a side eye for that one.
That throw he threw to Travis Kelce on that first Chiefs touchdown, bro. Like people were marveling at the catch, and the catch was cold.
Oh, it's the throw, man. That throw.
The placement of the ball, I was just like, this is different, bro. It's different.
And just the way he's transformed himself too.
Someone, I think it was maybe Agitator Brian in our Discord, said it perfectly. Besides the way he sees the game, besides the throws, besides all that, he has a poise that is almost like, I don't know, I'm not going to say ever, but there are very few quarterbacks we have seen play the game that has the poise that he has. Like it is, and it's hard to like talk about because it's not like it's a thing you can't really like verbalize, but you just see it. Like there's just this poise there that is just next level. Interested to see the Super Bowl, man, because you got Andy Reid going against the Steve Wilkes defense, and the Niners, if they can't get down like they did against the Lions and expect to come back, because all due respect to Ben Johnson and Jared Goff and all that, when you go in total, like he's already come back and beat you as a team. Like if you go down, bro, like that's tough. That's tough.
That's tough, man. I was and to me it's like crazy because like even in both games I haven't been super impressed by the 49ers. In both the postseason games this year, but I don't know. I don't know. It's gonna be a hard one to pick for me, but I never bet against Patrick Mahomes, bro.
Never, bro.
And Spags just been cooking, bro. Spags been cooking it up.
Cooking, bro. Can't believe Lamar said that they would have.
I can't believe that, bro. Like what?
Did you like not pay attention during the scouting report? Because I watched
the Spagnola's entire career.
They was blitzing the shit out of Josh Allen when they played the Bills. Like what?
I don't know.
Anyway, Senior Bowl. So, like the Denver sitting at 12th. Also, can I just make a statement that if Chicago decides to like keep Fields and punt on Caleb Williams, they deserve to be bad for a very long time.
Deserve everything they get.
Just dummies, right? But if they decide that they're going to do it and they're going to take maybe 3 first-round picks or 2 first-round picks and Patrick Surtain or 3 first-round picks and Patrick Surtain or whatever, and Sean jumps from 12 to 1 and drafts Caleb at 1, I'll be hurt. I'll be hurt, bro. I'll be hurt. I'll say that. Anyway. Senior Bowl. I know you've been starting to dig into prospects a little bit, watching some tape a little here and there. But just give me some Senior Bowl thoughts, some preliminary, tape dogging thoughts that you come across.
Nah, man. Obviously, Latu has been kind of the star of the Senior Bowl. I just started watching them yesterday or the day before. I watched them against USC in another game.
I saw my first exposure to him is that we went to the UCLA Colorado game in here. So I couldn't take much from that game because the Colorado offensive line is it's terrible. It's really hard to evaluate him because it wasn't like a fair competition. That said, when you have a great athlete or a great player going against a inferior competition, you want to see that player dominate. And he dominated that fucking game from start to finish. He dominated it. And I just kept who is this USC 15 or UCLA 15? Who is this? And he really plays. G said it first, but he plays kind of like that. Jalen Phillips, I kind of get some Anthony Barr vibes from him when he was at UCLA. He's a player. I don't got to squint. I don't got to say, nah.
I saw it, but you just see it. I was looking at the UCLA tape, and you see him. You can see, what I like with pass rushers when they get better throughout the game. You see, and then by third quarter, it's just sack, hit, sack, fumble, tackle for a loss. You just it's just they wearing the offensive line out as the game goes on. I love seeing that from edge rushers, and I saw that from him just in that one game I watched. And like we said, he's showing up. So we'll see. The draft has him kind of going around where the Saints are right now because he did have injuries, in his career. So give me if he slips a little
usually,
bit.
I tend to shy away from that usually, but I easily see it with him. I just easily see it with him.
He should meet all the athletic prototype stuff, that the Saints like to do.
We getting ready for it. We getting ready for it. A couple of
who else? Not many other people at the scene, but I mean, the quarterbacks, Penix, Bo Nix, everybody. Twitter hates Bo Nix so much. I almost want to like him, just to be a contrarian.
Hey Brian, sorry.
But I looked at a couple prospects. I'm still just doing my due diligence. I'm not about to look at all. A lot of offensive tackles are slated to go in the first round. So I mean the Saints. It's just oh my god. Jeffrey Island did speak this week. He said they still believe in Trevor Penning and all that stuff. I don't know what to think about Trevor Penning, bro. I just don't know what to think. I don't know his path forward. I don't know what it is.
Again, I think you've said it perfectly that one of the off-season things on the chalkboard, on the whiteboard, whatever fucking board color the board is bring in a coach to help Trevor Penning.
Period.
You cannot now as much as these dudes were so just deep in sunken fallacy calls, just deep in it with 2 firsts and blah blah. You can't tell me that you can't just be a little more patient with a player who didn't play his rookie season because he got injured and played a little this season, didn't start off hot, and then my eyes do not fucking lie to me. I'm not saying he was great. I'm not saying he was stellar. But no one can, in my face, look at me and tell me that Trevor Penning did not incrementally get better as the weeks went along this week. You can't do it, bro.
They say, they have a plan for him and they have a vision, but everybody knew he was a raw prospect coming out and was going to take time. Everybody.
Come on,
So
bro.
how can one take time and improve without playing?
And how can you dink him? Why? How can you dink him from that when that's who he was when you all drafted him? Because the upsides when you draft a player like that, right, is what you get to do. You get to put your hands on him, get to hold him, get to touch him. Eric, hold at home if you're listening. Don't. Yeah, you get to do what you want with him as a player, so you can make him into the player that you want him to be. But how can you do that if he's not on the playing field? I don't know. Just for shits and giggles, in case someone's looking at the YouTube while you were kind of talking, I kind of just got the draft, just the draft, like the kiss of the draft bug a little bit. So I just did just a little simulator real quick, and got the Washington wide receiver at 14, and I took Penix in the second round at 45. So
nice, I like it. Another wide receiver that's been standing out was Lad McCoskey.
Oh, the Alabama,
Georgia, White Georgia.
Oh, right? What? Yes, you're right. Sorry, it is. Yeah. I was thinking about.
Yeah, your quintessential, white slot, quick, not fast.
He got a little more game than that, bro.
Yeah, I didn't say he got game. I like him, but he's just you watch him and he's like, okay, I know exactly what he is. He's going to run crisp routes. He's going to catch the ball. He's tough. Got the lunch pail with him. Guy like him, they're gonna love him at the Senior Bowl.
Him and Chris Olave just be best buds, bro. Just best.
But
wait, say Chris Olave. Sorry, I meant Pete Warner. Sorry, that's on
Pete Warner.
Sorry, Chris. Chris, like, now why am I in it? Now I'm trying to get thrown up. Character assassinated for no reason. Anything else? I'm trying to think. Anything else Saints wise? Obviously, when an offensive coordinator it's just weird to me that like their coaches who have become head coaches have already like finalized their offensive staff, like their entire coaching staff.
Right.
And we
the only other explanations is nobody wants a job. It's a sham interview waiting on Gruden, or they are just waiting for Clint Kubiak or Brian Greasy or one of those guys in the Super Bowl. So we will have answers eventually. The
only thing that confuses me about the whole waiting for someone who is in the Super Bowl is I have watched numerous coaching cycles. I'm not saying all the time, but usually when that's the case, that news is already leaked, right? It usually says, coach blah, 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 blah of 49ers intends to become the blah, 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 blah of, said team once the playoffs concludes, blah, blah, blah. That news is usually already out. I'm not trying to just be contrarian and say that I'm calling shenanigans on that or anything like that. But that's usually already out. And the thing that sticks with me the most is that Underhill tweet. Adhering to league rules. Now, there's 32 teams in the NFL. All of them know what they, when they can talk to position coaches and blah, blah, blah on other teams and when they can't, especially during the playoffs, blah, blah, blah. So that's common knowledge across the board for all NFL teams. Although maybe I still think DA doesn't know how to use the IR rule, so maybe, I don't know. What would you need to adhere to the league rules about?
I'm still waiting on the answer.
Right? Like I don't know. I don't know. That line it was just like they should know they know the rules, right? Like everyone knows the rules. So like why would you need to adhere to them? Like you already know what they are. I don't know. I don't know if it means anything. Who knows? But anyway, guess we'll find out soon enough.
Soon enough, man.
But thank y'all for just supporting us and just being down for us and just being amazing listeners, amazing, fans of what Ryan and I are doing and what we built, I will 100% be at the Senior Bowl with Ryan next year. We were trying to plan it out this year. It didn't work, but listen.
Especially if DA gone and coach, staff. Maybe we're picking top 10 quarterback or something.
Nigga, maybe we're taking top 3. Not I'm hoping for that. Not I'm hoping for that. Just want to be clear. But if we're picking top 3, then that means we'll probably be able to get a quarterback of the future. And hopefully, this is sad, bro. We look into January of 2025. The season haven't even happened, Ryan. We haven't had free agency. We haven't had the draft.
Speed through this season, bro. You know. All I'm looking forward to is our game day Zooms, bro. I miss our game day Zooms, man.
Game day Zooms, the draft meetup, our so I will say on the podcast, I know, we're telling off and be not everyone's listening. So obviously we'll do our New Orleans meetup, pick one home game in New Orleans. It is not going to be the Broncos game. Please stop suggesting that game. It is not going to be that game. Financially, it just is not feasible. So we'll have the New Orleans meetup game. More than likely, the West Coast meetup game is going to be the Chargers game. And maybe you might be able to get the Saints Giants game. We got a little connect, got a little hookup. We can get some lodging tickets. I don't know. We'll see, right? We'll see.
I need some Patreons for that one, bro.
Please. But the crazy thing is, the most costly thing is the transportation or like the flight to New York. Because once you get there, if lodging's already taken care of, or at least a discounted lodging, you take the bus everywhere. So you don't have to worry about getting a rental car. That's one of like the really nice things about being in New York. You just take the subway everywhere. But them flights though, different story. But thank y'all so much for just listening and supporting. Our numbers, I'm happy that our numbers just haven't plummeted. Again, owe that a lot to the Saints. So thank y'all for just being somewhat pretty dysfunctional for this time being. But y'all keeping us going strong. We'll be back. We will see if we'll do a live show on Sunday. We'll see if we do. We definitely want someone on if we're doing a YouTube live show. I know Ryan and wife are going to New Orleans to celebrate Mardi Gras season coming up.
Baby. It's that time.
Oh, that's a fire shirt. I'm gonna have to get one of those.
Thank you, man.
So we'll probably do a live show on Sunday though. It's in the works. So we'll let y'all know when. We'll post it if we do the YouTube live show. Any questions y'all got? Anything y'all got? It's time to do that. We'll try to have one of our community members on, just supporting us and just keep this shit going. So we appreciate y'all. We love y'all. Thank y'all for all the support. We'll be back probably on Sunday for the YouTube live show. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube, like on all platforms. With that, we're out.
Peace.
Denim is in demand at Plato's Closet in West Ashley and North Charleston. Get cash on the spot for everything denim. Bring in your trendy and classic styles of gently used name brand denim. Get paid for your denim shorts, skirts, jackets, jeans, and more. We're looking for denim that is blue, black, or a bold color, and jeans in styles like mom jeans, bootcut, baggy, flared, and ripped. We want everything denim. Sell your denim for cash at Plato's Closet today. Plato's Closet, located in West Ashley on Sam Rittenberg Boulevard and North Charleston on Rivers Avenue.